Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the Chop Shop. I'm Croach. Today we're going to work on brake. Got the master cylinder. It's a mid-80s Ford, I believe for an F-150. Anyway, I started with modifying the push rod. I didn't have the correct boss to go through there, so I thought, well, let's make it adjustable. So I cut it off and threaded the shaft and put a heim joint on there. And I had made this bracket here to fit the back, but it isn't going to do me any good, so I'm going to start all over again. I got the brake pedal arm laid out on the, this is 3/8 steel, and the proper ratio for manual brakes is about between 6 and 7 to 1. In other words, this divided by this, you want that much leverage. So we got 9.5 inches from this pivot to where the pedal's going to attach. So we had to divide that by 6, and so then I drew out some new brackets to actually mount it to the frame. This is going to be the new back plate for the master cylinder. This is long enough, it's going to go all the way to the frame. I'm going to put a 90 in this, put some nut certs in the frame, so the whole deal will bolt in. These are going to be the supports for this. Is going to weld to the end of this, on this end, okay, and then another one right here, and this will be the shaft where the brake pedal goes through. Anyway, you can see there's 2 of them. You don't need any help figuring that out, I guess. So anyway, let's get suited up and get the plasma cutting. Okay, we got the 1/4 inch plate pieces cut out. Let's crank up the air pressure and the voltage a little bit and get to cutting this 3/8. Alright, got everything plasma cut and dressed up a little. There's lots of finished work to do. Here's the brake arm. From a side view, this is going to mount something like that. Pivot right there. Master cylinder is going to be back here, so the rod's going to push back on the master cylinder. I cut a piece of tubing, nice heavy wall stuff. I found these bushings. These go in here like this. Anyway, they're bronze bushings. That fits right in there. And I'll get it centered and welded in. Well, I'll tack weld it because I got a 110 amp TIG welder. That's good for tacking. Then I'll use the good old Lincoln stick welder to make sure it's together. I got these bushings on Amazon where I get a lot of my stuff. They're bronze, and it says they're oil impregnated. I don't even want to know how they do that, so I didn't ask any questions. But they fit right in there nice and snug. It's a 1/2 inch bore in the center. They'll be at a plenty long enough bolt to go through there, plenty strong. So anyway, the time clock on the wall says 90 degrees. That's clock out time for me. I'm in this big steel box. No air conditioning, no ventilation, except for this good old fan. The shop behind me is not in the sun, so it stays cooler till late afternoon. So this draws the cool air off the floor and the back wall, pushes it towards the front to help cool things off. Anyway, it's hot. I got to get out of here. We'll see what we can get done tomorrow. Oh, I got the doors on, by the way, and I'm just kind of playing with the ratchet shifter, where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to hook it up. That's a Hurst ratchet shifter. I picked that up on the cheap. So we got a lot of things going on here, but I need to concentrate on one thing at a time. I had a couple of guys mention to me that I need to spend more time and more detail when I'm making things. So I'm going to do that with this master cylinder bracket, because it's got to fit down in here. There isn't a whole lot of room or foot room in these 27s. They're kind of small. a little more room than a 22 or 23, but you sit way up higher in those, so you don't need the leg room. But anyway, I want to get down as low as I can in this. The goal is for it to be just like, you know, a 300 horsepower go-kart. That'll be fun, eh? So do something productive, go make something. Have a great day. See you next time. Oh wait, like it, please. Alright, it's the next day. Welcome back to the Chop Shop. I'm Croach. I tacked these two pieces to the piece that bolts to the master cylinder. These are the extension plates. This is the crossbar. I put this in there for spacing, just to keep them parallel. And the brake pedal arm mounts to this, comes down, push rod goes right there. So it's just tacked together. I'll finish welding with the stick welder. I trust that more. Okay, those are all tack welded up. I put the pivot bar in there and the brake pedal arm. Got it squared up with a magnet here. It's square to the table. I got my push rod lined up in the center of the hole, and I'll recheck it one more time. Tack weld it, check it again, bump it, tack weld it again. Then we should be go. We'll go for a test fit. Okay, so we got it mocked up together here. Everything seems to be pivoting real nice. I'm sure that'll work, hopefully. I don't want to push the master cylinder in dry. I want some fluid or some kind of lubrication in there. Anyway, it looks like everything's lined up like it's going to be. This end over here is going to mount to the frame. There'll be another cross piece here over to the frame, and the frame rails are not straight, they're tapered, so I'm going to have to mock it up in the car, tack weld that side, and then take a measurement before I cut this piece to go in there. So a little more work to do yet. Okay, so we got it mocked up together here. Everything seems to be pivoting real nice. I'm sure that'll work, hopefully. I don't want to push the master cylinder in dry. I want some fluid or some kind of lubrication in there. Anyway, it looks like everything's lined up like it's going to be. This end over here is going to mount to the frame. There'll be another cross piece here over to the frame, and the frame rails are not straight, they're tapered, so I'm going to have to mock it up in the car, tack weld that side, and then take a measurement before I cut this piece to go in there. So a little more work to do yet. Okay, so we got it mocked up together here. Everything seems to be pivoting real nice. I'm sure that'll work, hopefully. I don't want to push the master cylinder in dry. I want some fluid or some kind of lubrication in there. Anyway, it looks like everything's lined up like it's going to be. This end over here is going to mount to the frame. There'll be another cross piece here over to the frame, and the frame rails are not straight, they're tapered, so I'm going to have to mock it up in the car, tack weld that side, and then take a measurement before I cut this piece to go in there. So a little more work to do yet. Okay, got in and measured the distance between the frame and the transmission, and I got exactly 8 inches. So I went, because it's going to mount right behind that body mount and then extend forward, and the other piece will mount ahead of the body mount. So it's going to kind of go around that, and that'll be good and sturdy. You want to brace up the pedal part because that's where you put the most pressure. The master cylinder is just kind of hanging on to that mount. So I made my cut at 8 inches and didn't cut all the way through. I bent this piece around. This will be my flange where it mounts to the frame. I'll probably narrow that down, drill some holes, and then I'll put some nutserts into the frame so it's easy in, easy out, and nice and strong. And that'll give me a really nice V to weld into there. And then once that's in, I'll square it up, and I'll take this measurement here on how far that's going to come out. Probably not quite as far, maybe about a ½ inch short. Okay, got all measured, got this back piece put on right here, and did the same thing, cut about halfway through it, made the bend. Few adjustments to make. I'm going to redo this piece right here. I had to cut it to get the pedal over far enough to clear the steering column, and I need to make a proper spacer rather than a bunch of washers in there. That's Mickey Mouse, I don't like that. Anyway, it looks like it's going to happen. Got nice mounting surfaces to bolt to the frame. I'll drill a couple more holes in here, get this angle square. I'll lay a piece of straight edge across there and clamp that so they're nice and flat to bolt on the frame before I weld them. And looks like we got a brake pedal assembly. Okay, enough for today. The thermometer says 90. That's my time clock. Time to go home. So we'll get back to this next time and go out and build something.